Welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
I'm Tim.
How are you doing this week, Tim?
Tom, I'm doing all right. We heard some bad news just as we started recording this.
Well, but yeah, a little before.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
How are you this week?
Good until the bad news, but anyway.
That's true anytime, right?
Yeah.
You're good. You're born good, and
then just a series of bad news.
Yeah.
Unless you heard bad news and then you hear worse news.
Yeah, that falls into the same category.
Yeah,
I think.
but then that's how most people.
I was bad, and now I'm worse.
Yeah, and now the downward spiral begins.
Yeah,
or continues depending on who you are. Anyway, well, before we get to the bad news,
welcome to Life's Tough Cast.
Yeah, well, Tim, it's funny you say that because I have my life has been a little tough this week. Besides all this, last week we did VR or tiny houses.
Last week we did virtual reality. No, we did the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, Oculus Rift. So, follow up to that.
Okay.
I still have the Oculus Rift, despite the fact that they're going for like triple the price on eBay.
Why don't you just sell it? I mean, it was cool, Tom.
Yeah.
You get to live in cyberspace.
Mm-hmm.
But I came over here a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And you were living in the real
reality.
world.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
just
you
like
just...
a regular slouch.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Well, I'll tell you why, Tim. I think it's making me very sick. Very, very sick.
In what way?
I think it's like screwing up my inner ear permanently or something.
Okay. Inner ear you can deal with.
Yeah. You know what it is? I keep getting overconfident with it. It's like my problem with everything else.
So like you're trying to like strut around in there like king of cyberspace?
Yeah, more or less. I keep playing things where it's like, for things that are relatively comfortable to play, not a lot of moving around and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, you know what? Screw this. Like, let's hop in a jetpack and go jetpacking around.
It's like my lucid dreams, Tom. You ever have a lucid dream and like you go too far?
What, and kill a person in real life?
Maybe. I was thinking sometimes I have a lucid dream and I'm like, oh, this happened to me like twice. I was like, oh, this is a lucid dream.
Yeah.
This is great. Time to start flying around, right? And I start flying.
Oh, you don't just automatically go, time to start murdering.
No. All I ever want to do is fly around.
I guess you have weird fantasies.
So whenever I start flying around, it's the same exact sensation that happened once I figured out the rope in gym class.
Yep.
Where like I'd be like, oh, it's easy. I could go infinitely high.
Man, yeah.
And then
the
it's
rope
just
in
like,
gym class, they did a horrible job explaining how to do.
Yeah, and then
I could talk. We could do this episode about the rope in gym class because they did a horrible job explaining it, and then gave you like one shot once a year to try it.
Yeah. And one time I figured it out, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, I could be one of these kids that's like going all the way to the
top. You can be in the Tarzan Club.
Yeah. And then
you remember all the clubs, right?
So Tarzan is if you reach the top with no
legs,
no
think.
legs, which I wouldn't be able to do. I've never had any.
I believe there was like squirrel, monkey, chimpanzee, like King Kong, then Tarzan.
Okay.
There were three different. It was like the yellow line, the red line, and then the top, and then different
green
levels.
Line.
Yeah, and then different levels depending on if you could do it without using any legs at all.
Right. This is real fascinating stuff, Tom.
This isn't an oral history of our gym class.
So anyway,
we weren't in gym class together.
I would hit a certain point and be like, "Oh no, I'm so high."
Yeah. Send the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we all remember. We heard about you in school.
So I'd stop climbing and come down, and that's what happens in my lucid dreams too. When I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't be flying," even though I know it's a dream.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, see, that's what. Actually, that very accurately explains the difference between us, I think, and why VR is slowly killing me. When I figured out how to climb the rope, I would climb all the way to the top and then let go, which they told us not to do because the mats weren't really built for like that high of a fall.
For like an 8-year-old to
fall.
Yeah. Like you probably don't need a mat to break an 8-year-old's fall from 20 feet. Yeah, I think that's right. It wasn't 20 feet. It wasn't.
It was probably like 15 feet.
It wasn't twice the size of those basketball hoops. Do you measure every height by thinking about basketball hoops?
Yeah,
I
and I actually got into an argument. Well, we were both at a friend's housewarming party, and that was how we decided how high the roofs, the ceilings were.
Roofs, all right.
We had to go to just like, all right, imagine a basketball hoop there. Oh, okay, now I know exactly how high.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. Like,
10
what
feet
else
high.
is something that you've seen a bunch that you know exactly how high it is?
Yeah, and that it's in a.
Besides Red Man and Method Man, right?
Yeah, they're
We know
so
how high they are.
Yeah.
Very. It's right there in the movie. How high? Very.
And especially that it's a unit of 10, as a measurement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. Thanks, basketball hoops.
Thanks, Dr. J. Dr.
Oh,
J,
he invented them.
Yeah, he's a doctor. He invented basketball.
Dr. Basketball. Best kind. But yeah, so anyway, I've been like jumping into crazier and crazier VR experiences, Tim. And I've been doing them until all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel so good. And then I take the helmet off and I'm like, oh, I really don't feel good. And then
it's like when an astronaut comes back to Earth, Tom.
Yeah. And he's like, well, great. Now I have to go back to regular ice cream.
Yeah, I got to go back to my wife, who's not as pretty as these space babes I've been hanging out with.
Yeah, well, Tim, up in space, there's no gravity.
Yeah.
If you catch what I mean.
I don't, but I think
And
it's
then
probably gross and mean. And
the astronaut
misogynist.
comes back and he's like, oh, my wife's been subjected to gravity.
All right.
Hey, I'm just telling you about these horrible astronauts. I just want people to stop holding up these misogynists as heroes. Anyway, so
I am anti-astronaut. I'm becoming more and more anti-astronaut.
why?
Because they're so smug and their job is so easy.
Tim, their
Tom.
job's not easy, and they've been to space.
They sit in a chair while a room full of hundreds of people work all the controls, and all these scientists make all the stuff happen. And they're like, oh, I'm a hero. You sat in a chair.
Yeah, but those people aren't random. Like the astronauts, like the smartest person in that room. That then they're like, all right, we'll send the smartest one to space.
Why would they do that? Wouldn't they want the smartest guy organizing everything on the ground?
No, you want the smartest guy up in the thing because he's going to be the most likely to figure out how to fix a problem.
No, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, and they want that guy there because then they don't have to worry about like, oh, the internet connection went down. Well, we can't control it anymore. So then this guy's like, well, don't worry, I'm up here.
Ray
still.
Romano?
Yeah. What happened? I need to control the
You don't know
the
anything
space
that Ray
shuttle
Romano
now.
would say in real life, huh?
Everybody loves me.
Say, Deborah.
Deborah.
Yeah. He hates his wife.
Yeah, well, everybody in sitcoms does.
You ever see that
He'd be
show?
the perfect astronaut.
It was a show about a man who hated his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He hated his parents.
Yeah.
He hated his children.
Yeah.
And he was like...
Did it end with him with a murder-suicide?
No. It was the story of a guy who never went to work and hated everybody.
Why didn't he go to work?
Because it just wasn't part of the show.
So you didn't have a job?
He was a sports writer for Newsday.
Oh, okay.
But he would just write columns.
Oh, so he didn't even like go to games or anything as part of his
I
job?
don't think so.
No.
He just he argued with his wife. His wife was really mean to him, and he was really mean back. It was hard to... I could never get a handle on like who was the original jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'd have to go back to the first episode, maybe.
They were already very entrenched in their ways.
Oh, it
They were
started-
already all being mean to each
Yeah.
other.
Well, now you understand why a guy like him would want to go to space.
I just need to get away from Deborah, my wife,
And my parents.
and my parents. Oh, they
they were
live next
just trying
door.
to help.
They keep coming over.
His brother.
And my big doofy brother.
Oh, hey, Raymond.
That's great.
Oh, my brother's here.
Okay. What were you talking about? Virtual reality?
Virtual reality.
Oh, so you came back.
I came back from virtual reality, felt sick, but then like later in the night felt okay. The past 3 nights I have woken up close to vomiting in the middle of the night.
Unrelated to...
Well, seemingly unrelated, but possibly related. Like,
What if you're possessed by some sort of cyber...
no, that's not...
No, I'm not saying possessed. I'm saying maybe it, like you can't live in our regular world anymore because this is giving you like ideas.
What?
Like it's taught your body like this is how gravity should work.
Should work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it kind of has. Like, it's kind of screwed up my understanding of gravity, which used to be very good.
You've always been very good at gravity.
I used to have a
Tom.
thorough understanding of how gravity worked, what it was all about, what you could and couldn't
You
do.
rarely left the ground.
Yep. And if I did, I was right back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, I don't know. I keep waking up in the middle of the night like, bleh, bleh. I think I've got space sickness.
I don't know.
And I kind of feel like when I'm laying in bed, you know, like when you go to an amusement park all day and then like you feel weird because you've been on the rides too much.
Yeah, you get jelly legs.
That's been happening to me all day, every day.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. It's a great way to go, though. I'm having a lot of fun in virtual reality.
And then you just die. You slowly die in real life.
Yeah. And then, you know, just plug me in, upload me. All right, Tim. Well, now we're getting to the part of the episode that's about bad news.
Bad news.
Which is that Prince died. Word came out a few hours ago.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing that we're going to have to keep in mind, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Already,
Yeah.
people have been talking nonstop about Prince
Yeah.
on the internet. And if we learned anything from David Bowie,
Mm-hmm.
by the time this comes out, let alone by the time people like start
Listening to it?
listening to it, you know, like do you think people listen to this show like the moment it comes out? Probably no more than like 80% of people do that, right?
Right. Some people listen to it like an hour later or
Right.
so.
No, but if somebody's like listening to it next Friday, they're gonna be like, "Oh, and so today's Thursday,
Yeah.
and she just passed away." So people might be a little Prince fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
So look, let's try not to be like, "Did you know about this about Prince?"
Yeah.
Like any trivia,
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna be sick of. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, I've read a million freaking articles about how he wrote Manic Monday by the Bengals, right?" Like. Yeah, I know that. You're not telling me anything new.
Right.
So, look, Tom, let's make this a tribute to the man himself by doing what he did, like a lot of really great stuff and a lot of like weird, inaccessible stuff that like,
Yeah, you're right, Tim. Prince is a lot like us.
yeah. All right, go on. Sorry.
A lot of great stuff, a lot of inaccessible
I think
stuff.
out of the two of us,
Mhm.
you're the Prince guy here.
And who are you? Oh, you're just saying that so you can say you're Michael Jackson.
No, I'm the king.
The king.
Yeah.
You're Elvis.
Yeah. Prince's dad, right? That's how that works?
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And his mom was Queen Latifah.
Nope.
Yes, everybody knows
no,
this.
Queen Latifah is younger than Prince, I believe.
Well, I don't know. Princes it makes sense.
I'm sure Queen Latifah is younger than Prince now that I think about it.
I don't know, man.
Prince was 57.
Yeah, so Queen Latifah is probably in her 70s now.
Mm-mm.
It makes sense.
If she is, she looks great.
Tom, no matter what age she is, she looks great.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that that's going to be the case forever.
I don't know. Maybe she's got Benjamin Buttons.
You think she's just going to get younger and younger?
Yeah.
Why do I have to explain to you so many times that it's not a real disease?
Because I'm not very smart.
So anyway, we're gonna try and celebrate Prince's life today the way he would want in a podcast. Prince, I guarantee you, Prince had no idea what a podcast was and couldn't have cared less.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
Prince was so active on Twitter for the last couple of years.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Now I got to school you about Prince
Yeah.
of all things.
Oh, I think I did follow him for a while, and actually, you're right. He was like too active, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is just like flooding my feed.
I think, which is very, he had a complex relationship with technology,
Yeah, especially the internet, which is a form of technology.
which, like, I think is going to be tough for the internet, like behemoth to wrap their head around, because
Yeah.
it's not just one thing. Like, he did insane things that was like, no, like covers of my songs can't be anywhere. It's like, well, no, there's like a license that allows for that, like a compulsory license. Like he tried to scrub pictures of him from the internet.
Yeah.
Like, and like people were like mad at him for that, but then at other times he was just like, yeah, do whatever.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Because that reminded me of something, but now I forget.
Do you think it's a bad thing that like
that he's dead? Yeah, Tim. God, have a heart. What were you gonna say?
No, that was my question.
Okay.
Yeah, and you really made me think about. No, doesn't it kind of stink that his? I mean, it's probably a good thing for his estate. But like none of his music is on like the streaming services.
That's what I was going to talk about. That
like,
it's crazy. His stuff's on Tidal,
right?
But it is
so very coincidental. Just as Kanye's album goes to all the other things, something happens that would have everybody else flock to Tidal. What I'm saying is Jay-Z had him killed.
What? But why? He was a Tidal man.
Yeah, and now everybody's going to listen to Prince on Tidal.
Oh, I see what you're saying. There's another way to drive people to Tidal. My album's only on, when Kanye was like, my album's only on Tidal.
They got a lot of signups.
Yeah.
And now it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Play
6 weeks later.
Yeah.
People are, there's a class action lawsuit against him for that. Are you going to sign up, get on board?
No, because I didn't join Tidal for that reason.
Yeah. Well, you're smarter than these dummies in the class action lawsuit. They didn't realize they could have just stole his music.
Yeah, I have a pirated version of The Life of Pablo.
It's interesting, though, because I was reading a thing where they were like, technically Kanye is like an executive at Tidal. So, like, he actually could get into a lot of trouble for all that, for, like, false advertising.
Sure. I mean, I don't care. Like, it's
like in a court, you can't use the excuse in a court. Oh, that's just Kanye being Kanye.
Right.
Like, oh no, he always just like boastfully says things that he has no intention of like keeping.
So when Disney says, "Oh, buy 101 Dalmatians now because it's going into the Disney vault for 10 years."
Yeah.
If they release that after 8 years,
if it came out of the vault early, they could get in trouble. You could class action lawsuit them.
I feel like anybody that falls for that gets what they deserve.
No, but it shouldn't be. If somebody gives you a definitive...
First of all, 101 Dalmatians, not a very good movie.
But if Disney says is going in the vault for 10 years, if Kanye says, sign up for Tidal, get my album, because it'll never, ever be on iTunes, then you've got to...
Right.
If Disney just said, we're going to put it in the vault for a while, then okay.
But nobody knows what the vault is. Nobody says that they did.
No,
we don't
they
know
show it in the commercial. It's a big cartoon vault.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What if there's a door right on the other side?
Well, that's a poorly designed vault.
Sure.
Tim, I would argue in court, no. I would love to represent this case. I'm going to reactivate my my license to practice law.
Oh, like Robert Kardashian.
Yeah, because a vault implies, I would even go as far as saying, if you looked up the definition of a vault, it is something that, like, once locked, it only has, like, one way in, and once it's locked, that's it.
Speaking of vaults, what do you think will become of Prince's vault?
Oh, I'm very curious about that. I mean, I think that there's probably, like, even less chance that anything's going to come out of it now that he's dead, because I'm sure he had explicit instructions. Like, I would not be shocked if you find out later today, like, oh, a fire was started, like, as to his wishes, like, burn everything.
You don't think that there are opportunistic people waiting to swoop in?
Oh, of course, but I think that he was so protective about... So why don't you explain for people who might not be huge Prince fans the deal with his vault?
He was so prolific... And this is my understanding of it. Like I said, I say this on the air? I don't know anything about Prince.
Yeah.
I like a lot of his music.
Well, and I think a lot of this stuff too, a lot of the, like, even quote unquote facts about his life are, like, you know, a lot of, like, conjecture and rumors, which, like, I mean, that's one of the things he did. Like, he played into that kind of stuff. And then like,
did he play into it, or did he refuse to participate in any of it? And then that's the same thing as playing into it.
yeah. Like there would be rumors about things for like 10 years before like somebody asked him in an interview, and then he would just give like a cryptic answer.
Right.
And be like, oh, I mean, that's maybe a confirmation.
Right.
So
he wrote and recorded a lot of music.
I mean, there are rumors that's like 10,000, 20,000 songs.
Right.
You
and
know,
then just didn't release it. And it's all
in a vault
at
Paisley Park.
Paisley Park.
Yeah, there are stories that he has like that, like pretty much every room in Paisley Park is like set up to record. So he could like record anything, anytime. He can be in the kitchen, like, oh, that's a good idea for a song, and like just start recording it.
Here's the thing that people need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the hardcore Prince heads here, man. So please don't write in yelling at me if you like know about Prince and stuff. But like if you're a casual fan like me, before you're like, we gotta find a way into that vault.
There's already so much stuff out there.
Like there's been like
I think he has 39 albums.
Yeah, there've been the one day like a few years ago, he released an album that you can only get in the newspaper in the UK, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it was like, oh, nope, it's not available. Like, you can't buy it anywhere.
Nope, you gotta go to a newsstand, buy a newspaper.
Yeah, and it's like
to buy a $2 newspaper to get this album.
And it wasn't even like a Kanye thing where like, but it's in stores and online 2 weeks later. Nope, just no. If you didn't get the newspaper that day,
what a weird way to distribute an album, right?
He did weird shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what? He and Neil Young are very similar in that, like, they both have huge vaults.
Yeah.
They're both super prolific.
They both have like really weird feelings about technology too. Like kind of into it, but like not into like the technology that like our current culture uses.
Right, but also like has the ability to like, I don't know, like you become big enough, and Neil Young kind of spent that capital, I think, and like now it's like, okay, like nobody's really gonna seek out anything Neil Young's doing, especially it's like
he got to put out his stuff that is like
he's releasing an album of 30 years worth of songs that have never been released in a live album, but he's only doing it through his Pono player, which is like
a little weird. Looks like a
Toblerone
bar.
Yeah.
It's way overpriced.
Yeah, and it has like dubious claims to like wonderful fidelity and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was all recorded in 2015, and it's just like nobody wants to hear 2015 Neil Young. Like,
yeah.
Prince could do something weird, and people would be like, "All right, I'm gonna give it a shot." Like that last
the two albums he put out together.
Yeah, with the Third Eye.
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind song?
Third Eye Girls.
No, that's not what it was called.
There's something like that.
Yeah. He used his clout, which was I think still diminishing towards the end.
Yeah.
But
I mean, everybody's does.
To do cool stuff. Like he did Saturday Night Live, and he was just like, no, not 2 performances. Just give me like 15 minutes. One 15-minute block in the middle of it, and I'll just do whatever I want.
And I'll blow your dang socks off.
Yeah, it's good. Like, and again, like the musicianship blew my socks off, but like
it was, I think I did see that. It was the new stuff he was doing.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to get into that vault. No, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff out there.
Before you get together your Ocean's 11 gang to get in there, maybe go to the record store.
Or subscribe to the newspaper. There might be more.
Yeah, who knows? Subscribe to all the newspapers. There might, he might have had in his will, like, upon my death, release the vault, but only through the newspaper.
You have to subscribe to the Daily Mail.
Yeah, and then you'll get a dump truck full of CDs will come to your house and give you my vault. He was there were a bunch of stories about like how he was so prolific because that was like one of the only things he enjoyed doing.
Right.
Was just recording. Like it wasn't, obviously like the best artists, it's not quote unquote work to them. But this wasn't even like he just didn't like to do anything else. Like this was how he relaxed, how he celebrated, how he mourned, how he was depressed, whatever. Like whatever it was, he was like, I'm going to go in and make music.
I think that's probably not true.
How would he have amassed so much?
Yeah, but guess what? Ever listen to his lyrics? Most of the time he was having sex.
That's true. Well, yeah. Well, besides recording sex, but then sometimes he was having sex while he was recording.
During the bat dance?
The bat dance, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, you want to tell that story? You've got all the stories.
I think you know that one better than me.
Well, it's just that the bass drum is supposedly Kim Basinger hitting into the bass drum while he's
yeah, I don't
doing
know.
his
That
business.
can't be true, though, right?
I mean,
They
yeah.
said that about one track on that ODB record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that would make like the engineers in the room uncomfortable.
Yeah.
They'd have to be like, hold on, and like click the thing. Hold on a minute, Prince. We need to reposition the microphones if that's how you'd like to record the bass drum.
What do you think? Just all engineers are... They're in the music business, Tom. They're not nerds. They're cool.
Kim Basinger's just waiting there. Like, all right, well, I'll wait for this and then...
Nude on a bearskin rug. Just like, all right. No, I understand. Audio fidelity.
But you know what? That fits in with the idea and the stories that every room in his house is made up to be recorded. They could have been in his bedroom in bed. She might not have even known.
Well, that's not legal. That should not be celebrated. If that's the case,
he might have been like,
that's the case. I think we have to reevaluate.
He might have just been like, just wait here a minute. I need to get a drum.
Is that your Prince?
That's my Prince. No, Prince is even deeper.
Is
right? He's got a real deep, not this deep, but pretty deep.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Are you only into Prince because he did that music for the Batman movie?
For the Bat Dance? No, but I did love that video when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, you had to go to the movie theaters to see Batman, but the Bat Dance video they showed on TV, and it was the next best thing.
Yeah, that's true. But you were, what, 8 years old?
Yeah.
Your parents let you
7 or
watch
8.
MTV when you were 8?
Oh,
boy.
I don't think so, but I remember seeing
have
the
your mother arrested.
I remember seeing the Bat Dance. I think they played the Bat Dance on regular TV. Damn, that was in the throes of Batmania.
Yeah.
The summer of '89.
Yeah, Batmania was
yeah.
a little much.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I want to get the Batman logo shaved into the back of my head. And it's like, no, we'll let you watch the Bat Dance video one more time.
I wasn't allowed to get the Batman logo shaved into the back of my head, but I was allowed to get 33.
For
Patrick Ewing? Yeah.
I was allowed to get Patrick Ewing's garbage shoes. They fell apart. I think he made them himself.
Hey, man, he was...
and he didn't... I mean, for the first time making a pair of shoes, not bad, but still not up to snuff.
Well, we don't know if that was the first time. He might have been tinkering in his...
The whole damn thing was just, like, glued together. That was, like, the first time as a kid I realized, like, things could be crappy.
What, when you were 11?
Yeah. That, like, things that are expensive can be crappy and overpriced.
They weren't expensive. They were overpriced, but they weren't expensive.
No, I think they were. But the thing was, I think, like, when I was a kid, everybody wanted, like, Air Jordans or whatever. And I think I had, like needled my parents enough to they were like, all right, like, you can get a kind of nice pair of shoes, but we're not going to spend $115. Like, you can get these Patrick Jordans. They're $85. And I was like, sold. Good compromise. Patrick Ewing. You can get these Patrick Ewing shoes. And I thought, like, well, they're $85. They've got to be better than $40 shoes and almost as good as the Air Jordans. They were not. They were not better than anything.
I didn't care about sneakers in...
I didn't... that was, like, the first and last time I cared.
And I think I got, like, a pair of, like, New Balance or Asics or something.
Yeah, you probably look like a real nerd.
Yeah, somebody literally came up to me at a school assembly and was like, you wear the same brand of shoes as my dad.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
You know what you should have said? I almost was your dad. That implies that you've had sex with his mother. Read between the lines, idiot.
I was in 2nd grade.
He doesn't know how sex works.
I mean, he might. I mean, this was the teacher.
Oh, it was a teacher making fun of you.
Yeah, the teacher made fun of me.
Yeah. Was he wearing Jordans?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then he dunked on me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
made
it's not hard to do over a second
I know,
grader.
but he really gloated a lot. And
Yeah.
it was just like, there was a trampoline involved. And I was, again,
Well, then that's naive affair.
yeah. The amount, he smacked the ball right into my face afterwards.
Wow.
And then him and the rest of the teacher buddies failed me out of school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how you ended up here.
That's how I ended up here.
As a little orphan outside the recording studio. Brought inside and raised by the janitor.
It's hard to believe that was 3 whole years ago.
Yeah. Well, speaking of basketball, that's something Prince loved, as everybody knows from the TV show.
Chappelle Show.
The Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, the David Letterman Show. The David Chappelle Show.
Right.
Dave, to people who...
What, the show is
know
called
him.
Dave? Did you
Dave.
see Dave last night?
You see Dave last night? Oh, you mean the television adaptation of the movie starring Klein?
Kevin Klein.
Kevin
What
Klein?
is wrong with you today, Tom?
I just can't remember names.
Jesus. Starring Klein.
What, Kevin Klein isn't famous enough that he can go by just his last name? Like Schwarzenegger? Starring Klein. But Prince was only 5'2". That didn't stop him from playing basketball.
Yeah, we don't know if he was good.
He played every day. I'm sure he could have beat the hell out of both of us.
Yeah, sure. Anybody can beat me in basketball, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, you know what, actually? Between recording, playing basketball, and having sex, you know what? He didn't just record. It sounds like he had like a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, he was like sending DMCA
Yeah.
takedown notices.
Yeah. You better take this off YouTube.
It's great. Is that what?
Uh-huh.
Would he send a video of him?
Yep. It was just a video of him. You better take this off YouTube. And they were like, was that Prince?
Those videos themselves would start winding up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I remember he always talked about how he didn't want people covering his songs.
Yeah.
And then I think...
Limp Bizkit did.
Who? Yeah, everybody did.
But Limp Bizkit did on MTV.
Oh, really? What they...
1999 during the
Millennium Celebration.
The Millennium Celebration.
The Millennium Celebration.
New Year's Eve 1999, and MTV was never allowed to play it again.
Well, that's not... But, that's not how it works.
Tim, he sent them a video saying, don't ever play that again. Now, Tim, some diehard fans might know that our first episode was about Michael Jackson, and that was because Michael Jackson died that day, and we said let's do an episode about him because we loved him so much, his music. And now Prince died today, and we're doing it. Just happened to be an episode. We do an episode the day we do an episode. But they're two artists that were frequently compared to each other. Came up around the same. I mean, MJ started when he was younger, but
Right.
his solo career started pretty much exactly when Prince's solo career did, or
Yeah,
his
about the
career.
same time, yeah.
And there have been a lot of rumors about them not getting along.
Right. Do you think when Michael Jackson named his child Prince...
I always thought about that. If Prince was like, what the hell, man? That's my name.
Well, what do you think? Do you think it was a sign of respect? Or is I'm claiming this name for my...
Yeah, I think it was probably Michael Jackson being like, oh, I didn't even think about it.
I could see that also being the case.
Yeah.
Maybe it was named after Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is a prince. That's not his first name.
I think he's named after Prince.
Nope. I think he's about the same age as Prince, so he wouldn't have been named after somebody who wasn't born yet, or somebody who was a child when he was born.
I don't know. I'd name all my children after children. I named my son Jonathan Taylor Thomas back in 1995.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least you named after a famous child.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince was not a famous child, but he did sign like his first contract when he was like 17.
Yeah.
So
did Michelle Branch.
Yeah. What's your point?
I don't know. Is Michelle Branch still making music?
I'm sure she's still kicking it around.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be so dismissive. I bet she's doing great.
Prince wrote his first song when he was 7 on his father's piano. Name of his first song, Funk Machine.
Hell yeah.
That's a pretty good name for a 7-year-old to come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if I bet that song is pretty good.
I bet it was awesome. Imagine
awesome. Come on, it's 7-year-old. Nothing a 7-year-old has ever done has been awesome, except like maybe a chess move.
A 7-year-old Prince writing a song named Funk Machine?
Yeah, that's true.
If it was just like about his toys, but then also a funk machine. like I've got a fire truck, but I wish I had a funk machine.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. That's the piano.
It was the baby elephant dance?
No, in my head it was more like the theme of a western, like a spaghetti western. Dun, 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 dun.
Why would that be a song called Funk Machine?
Just all he knew. The first thing he learned was how to write westerns, old western soundtrack.
Is that a fact you know?
That is. I'm reading that off.
Oh,
nope,
okay.
It's right here. Tim, I'd like to go through some of Prince's aliases.
Okay, well, his real name is Charles Nelson Riley.
Prince. No, he's Prince Charles Nelson. Rogers Nelson.
Yeah.
And his dad said he named him Prince because he wanted him to do all the things his dad didn't.
Right. Like, he really looked up to Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia.
Nope. Again, Tim, Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia was not old enough. What were we talking about? Prince.
Yeah, you were talking about his aliases.
Oh, his aliases. Yeah, you keep talking about Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia.
Tom, when you emailed me today and said we're going to do the episode on Prince, I said, great. I've been meaning to do something on Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia for a while now.
Yeah, and you went and did all the research.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to work it in and wherever I can.
So that time wasn't wasted.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've been asking to do an episode about Prince Bandar of Saudi Arabia.
We're saving it for Sweeps Week.
For years. Yeah, you keep telling me that.
So everybody knows when Prince was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Right.
And it was just the symbol.
Right.
But I want to tell you some of his other aliases they had over the years.
You know what? Hack comedians in the early 90s.
That was their favorite joke.
My God. You couldn't
have you guys heard about it?
This is the one good thing about Twitter.
Yeah.
Like something like that happens. Like, a popular recording artist changes his name to a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
You get probably 36 hours of nothing but lame jokes about that, but then it's all over. Like Jimmy Fallon will keep talking about it for a few weeks or whatever, but like by and large, everybody gets those jokes out of their system in a day and a half. And then we move on to being like upset about Harriet Tubman or something.
People weren't upset about it.
Some people were.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I can't get into that. Why were they upset, Tim? Well, interesting story about that symbol, Tim. Warner Brothers had to organize a mass mailing of floppy disks with a custom font, so that news organizations and print media could call the man by his new name.
Yeah, I thought they sent out these floppy disks that just had the symbol on it.
Yeah. I bet that's worth a lot of money nowadays. That's like a pretty cool souvenir to have.
Yeah, we should make up fake ones.
Yeah, probably be real easy.
Sell them on eBay.
Yeah, make them purple. People will be like, oh, it has to be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we should be thinking, right? How can I profit off of this man's death? This genius's untimely death?
Yeah, with a cheap lie.
Yeah.
A cheap fraud. Yeah. So anyway, some of his aliases, Tim. Jamie Starr.
Jamie Starr?
Yeah, with 2 R's.
Okay, of course. Like Ringo Starr.
This is maybe my favorite one. Well, everybody knows like the purple one.
Right.
The symbol. the artist formerly known as Prince, TAFCAP, which is the abbreviation for that. Joey Coco.
I don't know about Joey. Were these like Sasha Fierce style?
Yeah.
So like, did he release records?
No.
Okay.
Well, he might have like some of these. I think he might have like recorded on other people's things under a pseudonym. But my favorite one by far is Christopher Alexander Nevermind.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's a great name. Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? I'm Christopher Alexander Nevermind.
If he was just like Christopher Alexander, and then he saw the guy that he was talking to was like, I know this is Prince. It's like, never mind.
Christopher Alexander Nevermind.
What else was there?
And you're like, I think this 5'2" guy dressed entirely in purple velvet is actually Prince.
And then there was Chris Gaines.
No, Tim. You're once again you're getting the purple one confused with Garth Brooks.
Always.
Yeah.
They're so similar.
Yeah. Well, Garth Brooks was the only one who went that extreme with a alias or pseudonym.
Right.
Where he was like, I'm gonna make up like a whole thing. I'm gonna do a Ziggy Stardust, but with like the lamest character you could think of. But instead of being like an alien from another world, it'll be me with a soul patch and a shaggy wig.
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Prince album?
I mean, it probably had to be Purple Rain.
See, I think so.
It's just a very solid album from a guy who like didn't necessarily put out solid albums.
I don't know if that's true.
He put out great songs, but like because he was so prolific, I think it was tough for him to like consolidate it down into an album.
Right, but like that his second record, that self-titled record,
Prince.
Yeah. That is an insane record.
Go through the track list.
I Want to Be Your Lover.
I want to be your lover.
Okay, this is great so far.
Yeah.
Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad?
Why you want to treat me so bad?
Sexy Dancer.
Sexy dancer.
When We're Dancing Close and Slow.
When we're dancing close and slow.
With You.
With you.
Bambi.
Bambi.
This bit is not. It's not gonna.
How many songs are on this album?
Look, man. Purple Rain. It's got to be Purple Rain for a couple suburban, white, boring guys like me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Purple Rain. Purple Rain. Got Tipper Gore's goat.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to ruin everything for everybody now.
Yeah.
Now Tim can't buy that Dr. Dre record because his mom sees the parental advisory sticker.
Well, and the crazy thing is, does Purple Rain even have any quote-unquote curse words on it, or it's just suggestive?
Darling Nikki was masturbating in a magazine. Tom.
Right, but I'm saying it didn't have curses. It was just like explicit.
Yeah, but that's what it says. Parental advisory, explicit lyrics.
Yeah, but he never like says the F word.
So this lady,
which makes it even more sexy because it's all innuendo. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I mean, not masturbating to a magazine. That's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. So, Darling Nikki is probably your favorite song, right?
No, I really like Computer Blue.
Really?
Yeah.
You just like computers a lot. the guy that's getting sick because he spent too much time in cyberspace.
Yeah.
Likes the song about computers the most.
I mean, yeah, Tim.
Wait, what about Diamonds and Pearls is a good record too.
Diamonds and Pearls.
You don't know this.
No, I know that one. Oh, but I also like Cream, Joe Boogie Top.
All right.
Well,
back to your list. I'm sorry.
Tim, look, I mean, I feel bad taking advantage that he's no longer with us, but this is the only time I'm going to be able to sing Prince songs.
Yeah, we should cut together a demo reel for you, Tom, to send off to
finally
all the major labels.
Yeah. Like, look, maybe the rights will be eased up a little bit. Why not get Tom Does Prince
I
on
wouldn't
your
be
record label?
Surprised
if
he found a way, like that. Today, everybody's like, oh, rest in peace, Prince, and everybody's like playing their records and stuff.
And he's like, sue them all.
No, and then tomorrow everybody wakes up, and all the Prince records are just gone.
Yeah. Oh,
and
no.
like,
If
everything
anybody
is just like, he figured out a way that's like, nope, sorry,
Yeah.
and now I'm gone, and like you're left only with your beautiful memories.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody was going to come up with like some elaborate plan for what would happen to his music after he died, and like elaborate in the way, not in like, oh, here's all the releases that I want you to do. Elaborate in like, no, like take these masters, shoot them into space, take these masters and burn them, revoke all the licenses everywhere.
I could see either that happening, or tomorrow we all wake up and it's like, oh, here's what was stipulated in his will. Everything's available for free for
Yeah.
download.
But only if you listen to all of it.
No. Everybody can use it for commercials, post it anywhere.
Yeah.
It belongs to the world now. I could see him also doing that.
Oh yeah, I mean whatever it is, it's not going to be just like it goes to my estate, and then they would have to vote and decide
Right.
on its usage.
What like
All or nothing.
how like what went on at Paisley Park? Because
What
he
didn't
had,
go
he
on at
had
Paisley
like
Park?
shows and parties there that you could buy tickets
it's a weird
to.
thing because we were both looking at pictures of it from the outside, and it just looks like an office park.
Yeah.
Like I always thought Paisley Park, like in my head, it was like Graceland
Yeah, I don't know
or
what
like
this is.
Neverland Valley.
Right.
Like that, it was just like a gigantic sprawling grounds. But like no, it's next to a highway, and like it looks like a kind of cool like modern office building, but it mostly looks like an office building.
Yeah, I like that he was like, no, I'm operating out of the Midwest, and I'm always going to operate out of the Midwest. That's it.
Well,
That's my.
we'll get to that in a minute, but before we get off Paisley Park, because and like I don't think there was like originally like living quarters there. That was like a later thing where he was like, why don't I just live here? I'm here all the time anyway.
Yeah.
But they were
It's
saying,
classic workaholic situation, right? Sleeping at the office.
well, they said they had a party at Paisley Park like last week.
Yeah.
That was, like the last time he was kind of like, seen out and about or whatever. And
Right.
people were like, he'd had the flu, but like he seemed fine. There was a huge party. How do you think he got invited to a party at Paisley
think
Park?
you could buy tickets. I think like he had like things to the public there.
Yeah.
And like they had situations where like I was always out of the loop on these because like also I wasn't the guy that was going to like drop $1,200. But like where he'd do like intimate concerts, but they wouldn't tell you where.
Yeah.
So like you had to meet somewhere at some point and like buy a $1,200 ticket and then go
Right.
there. But
and
like,
probably also stipulation like Prince might not come.
oh, I mean that's the implicit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if
He had
was-
gotten a lot better at that, and like that was kind of like an old Prince thing.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, like because I knew somebody who like pretty much missed a Prince concert because they were like, well, the concert starts at 8, so like we'll get there at like 9:30, and like it was like
Just
nope.
wrap it
He
up.
went up at 8 o'clock on the dot. He was out there,
Yeah.
and like normally there were stories of like 6 hours late concert start times.
Right.
Anyway, Minneapolis. What a weird place for Prince to be from and to just 100% claim
Yeah.
as like, nope.
But like,
Minneapolis
here's
is
the
where.
thing: Minneapolis is like a city,
Mhm.
and it's not only. It's not like Dolly Parton, where like she took her hometown
Mhm.
and was like, "Nope, this is Dollywood now. This
Yeah.
is my like hometown. Like,
Yeah,
it's synonymous with me."
I'm gonna
Like-
build a replica of my home here, my childhood home.
Yeah,
and-
like Minneapolis is big enough that like it wasn't only associated with Prince.
yeah,
But like Prince was associated with it.
yeah,
And it's like, what a like comparatively to the way like he spoke and like carried himself,
Mhm.
kind of like a humble move,
yeah.
where it's just like, no, this is just my headquarters. Like,
Yeah. Well, and Minneapolis isn't the first city you would think of at that like name some like
It's like-
artsy cities.
It's like freaking cold there.
Yeah, you can't go outside. Like, you wouldn't think that it would produce somebody as like eccentric as Prince,
Yeah,
but it did.
it did.
It did.
What was the purple thing? Why do you know?
I think he just liked purple.
He spilled the. Did he?
Spill the beans?
No, did he invent the color purple?
No, he did not
Okay.
invent the color. That was Oprah. Oprah invented the color
Right,
purple.
okay.
You like, I think he was just very good at. I mean, this is maybe the worst thing you could say about somebody as.
Oh, say it on the day the man
Well,
died.
that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody who's a genius, like Prince on the day he died, probably the worst thing you could say. But he was very good at branding.
He was.
Like, between having a logo, having a one-word name, and a color that you just associate with Prince.
You know what the cool thing about Prince was?
There were lots of cool things, Tim. There wasn't just
No,
one.
you know, want to know what the sole cool thing about him was? He was a really good guitarist.
He was yeah.
And you know what? Like, he was better than Carlos Santana at the guitar,
Mhm.
but like he didn't he wasn't known as like the man with the magic guitar. Like, he's gonna do the guitar licks. It was like, yeah, no, he's like a great artist, and like, oh, he's also the best guitarist that ever lived.
Do you know what your old friend Slowhand said about him?
What did he say?
Eric Clapton?
Yeah, did he say something like
No.
vaguely racist? and-
No.
Horrible.
Somebody asked Eric Clapton in an interview, how does it feel to be the greatest guitar player in the world? And he said, I don't know, you'd have to ask Prince.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. Prince just did
And
weird
Prince
stuff.
probably said, get my name out your mouth.
Get out of it. I could picture Prince being like honestly being like, wait, who's Eric Clapton again?
Which guy is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's
He
like,
was in the band that you wrote a song about.
what?
Cream.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some like dirty songs, and I don't like that.
Yeah, calling a song Cream.
Or Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get Off.
Yeah.
And he wasn't talking about like
He had an album called Come.
Yeah.
I mean, spelled the proper way, but still,
I
read
think-
between the
I
lines.
think we know what was happening there.
Well, speaking of that, Tim, so I want to talk about some of the people that he was romantically linked with over the years.
Jennifer Aniston.
No. Was he?
I don't know. It seems
Oh,
like
man. She
she'd be a
She
fool
wishes,
not to.
yeah.
She wishes. She was married to Brad Pitt, for Christ's sake.
and couldn't keep him happy.
She's the most beautiful woman in the world,
Not,
according to People magazine.
what is it? Like their pity issue? I don't know why I'm being so bitchy to Jennifer Aniston.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She's a very beautiful woman.
She is
though.
very beautiful.
What did she ever do to you? She
Uh,
rejected your advances. She got that restraining order taken
She got me
out.
fired off of Friends.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah. It was Chandler,
Yeah.
Joey,
Mm-hmm.
Ross,
Mm-hmm.
Monica,
Mm-hmm.
Rachel,
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe,
Mm-hmm.
and Tom.
And Tom, the gaffer.
The gaffer.
Yeah, I was just, worked on the crew.
Oh.
That's one of the gaffers.
What does a gaffer do?
He puts on the gaff tape.
Huh.
And that's why she got me fired, because she was like, oh, this guy keeps coming in and asking us if we need any gaff tape. Can we do something about that?
Seems like she was the one who pulled the gaff.
Yeah.
That was what you were hired to do.
Well, and that's what my boss said when he fired me. He said, Tom, you've pulled your last gaff. You've finally done the gaff that's going to do you in.
So you packed up your bags back to New York?
I gaffed up my bags. I gaffed up a bag.
So you taped up all your...
Yeah, I
Oh,
taped them all up, kind of made a bag
Yeah,
that
okay.
way.
Mhm.
And then, slinked back to New York, which was ironic because, I had to come off a set that was supposed to be New York.
That's true. That is ironic.
Yeah.
Also, what, you were like 13 years old at the
I was
time?
13.
Yeah.
I was the youngest gaffer in the union, yeah.
Wow. I mean, it could have been a great career.
It could have been, the show went on, that was the first season. I could have stuck on for all the seasons, but, that bitch Monica, not Monica, Rachel, hated me.
All right, so who was romantically linked? I don't like the use of the word, the B word.
It's a fictional character. I can do that.
Okay.
Over the years. So first things first, Kim Basinger.
Basinger.
That's weird. Like, what do you think it's like being with Prince and Alec Baldwin? How are you attracted to both of those people at different times? Granted, different times in your life, but still.
I don't know. Not everybody has a weird type.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I could not think of two more different people than Prince and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, but they're both geniuses in their own way.
And also, so did she just meet Prince through the Batman movie?
Yes.
Because that's like a crazy thing, too. I feel like if you're like, that was Prince pulling some strings or her pulling some strings. Because I feel like normally they aren't like, when you get hired to be on a big movie, like, all right, then of course we'll have you meet with the man who's making the music for this movie, actor in this movie.
Or maybe he was like, I got a really good idea for a bass drum sound.
Yeah, and she was like, great, I would love to play music.
Great.
And then,
And the rest is history. Okay, go on.
No, the screen turned off. Next one, Madonna.
That makes sense. He wrote that song with her.
Which song?
Oh, Tom.
Was it a Madonna song or a Prince song?
Yeah, it's called Love Song. It was a Madonna song. He sang backup vocals on it.
I mean, that's one where I assume, like, the two of them, the sexiest people during the sexiest time.
By the way,
there's by accident gonna hook up at some point.
Best Prince song ever?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing compares to you.
It's a pretty good song. Well, we'll get to, I have a Sinead O'Connor story.
Oh, great.
Vanity, of course.
Yeah.
Sheila E., of course. Carmen Electra.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Susanna Hoffs.
I don't know who that is.
Me neither. Anna Fantastic.
Are these all proteges of his?
I assume so. Sherilyn Flynn and Susan Moonsey of Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6. Yeah?
No Apollonia, though?
I don't think so.
Is Morris Day on the list?
Morris Day, he did not have a romantic relationship with Morris Day or any of the time.
All right, we're going to have to get into kind of a lightning round here, Tom. So here, I'm going to stop interrupting.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Tom be Tom.
I think I've
now
only
welcome to Tom on Prince. And the clock starts now.
I mean, I really only had that Sinead O'Connor thing. And it's just that, like, a couple of years ago, Sinead O'Connor was interviewed about Nothing Compares to You. And she said, I made it without him. I'd never met him. He summoned me to his house, and it's foolish to do this as an Irish woman. He said he didn't like me saying bad words in interviews, so I told him to fuck off. He got quite violent. I had to escape out of his house at 5 a.m. He packed a bigger punch than mine.
Well, that doesn't sound great.
No, but I mean that also sounds like a weird story.
Sinead O'Connor.
I think it's like a little weird to be like, I made that song without him. Like, well, I mean, he wrote it.
Yeah, that's true. It had already been recorded when she recorded it. He gave it to another one of his proteges.
Then how'd she get it?
I don't know. Like, people can cover songs.
Yeah.
But
I also get that if you like covered somebody's song and then they invited you to their house and then they were like, listen, don't curse in interviews, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I did a song.
Well,
you're not my like manager or something.
Didn't want people like covering his songs unless they had his permission. But then remember when he did the Super Bowl thing and he covered that awful Foo Fighters song?
Yeah, but he made it great. Yeah, and in the beginning, he played All Along the Watchtower, and then he morphed it into the Foo Fighters song.
Yeah.
And he played Purple Rain and some other hits that I don't remember. That was an awesome halftime show.
It was.
That was the best halftime show I've ever seen.
He made his guitar look like a wiener behind the
Yeah, he pulled a big trick on him. Big wiener trick.
Yeah.
I won't do anything sexually suggestive, and if you don't believe me, put up a curtain in front of me.
What could I possibly do with that?
What could I possibly do? I'm covered. Joke's on you. now the silhouette, my guitar, doesn't look like a guitar. It looks like a gigantic wiener. The
Tom,
size of me. Prince, a little guy with a big wiener.
the movie Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw it.
You've never seen it?
No.
It's a great movie. It has a lot of nudity. That's my criteria of great movies.
Right.
But I do get, like, nobody does that. Guys, musicians out there, really famous musicians with a lot of pull. Listen, make an album and a movie like Purple Rain. People love it. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're going to make Purple Rain a musical now that he's gone.
No, there's a way for them to stop doing that.
But I mean, it's basically a musical already.
Right.
It'd be very easy for them to. I could, in an afternoon, adapt that into a musical with dance numbers and everything.
Well, I mean, the music's already written. Tom.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so is the script.
Yeah,
It was
I would really only have to write the dance numbers.
Yeah, it's already a musical.
I'd really only have to come up with the dance numbers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is a fitting tribute to one of the greatest creative minds of our time.
Yeah.
Look, I think I might. Here's the problem.
You can't go dive into his.
I mean, you can't. Can
you
you
have to buy it,
Can you
though.
buy it on
Sign up to
iTunes
Tidal.
and stuff? I'm not going to sign up to Tidal.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I signed up to Tidal when it first came out
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, I'll take that free month.
Yeah.
And at the end of the free month,
Mm-hmm.
I canceled.
Yeah.
And they were like, cool. And then for a month, I didn't hear from them. And a month later, they were like, thank you for your $20 payment to Tidal.
Mhm.
And I had to, like, get in touch with them. I was like, hey, I canceled. They were like, oh, yeah, I don't know why we charged you. Sorry.
You had to wait outside the Barclays Center for Jay-Z to leave a game.
Then they kept re-signing me up like 4 or 5 more times.
You bumped into Beyonce, but she was like, "Oh, that's Jay-Z's thing." You gotta talk
and I
to
didn't
him.
want to bother her with that.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
She was like, "Oh, I'd love to help, but that's more his thing."
yeah. She's a very nice woman, but like she doesn't know what's going on with
No.
the
Tidal.
billing over at Tidal.
Yeah.
Look, she tried to help, and I don't want to speak badly of
No.
Beyonce,
Mm-hmm.
but like she really just has no institutional knowledge about what they're doing in the collections department over there.
It's really weird that we live in a time now where like music has gotten corporate in a very weird way. Of like Taylor Swift's all in with Apple, and like Beyonce and Jay-Z are all in with Tidal. Like that never happened when like there were music stores of like, guess what? Cyndi Lauper is all in with Tower Records.
Yeah. Well, Huey Lewis, you got to get his stuff at Sam Goody.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was. No, it wasn't that way.
No, because they just wanted to sell all their stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What
anyway,
are we talking
Tim,
about?
I've got some Prince music I can give you. Not on vinyl or anything.
Here's what I have.
Mhm.
I have self-titled.
Mm-hmm.
I have Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm.
I have Diamonds and Pearls.
Mm-hmm.
I have like the hits.
Yeah.
I have like that.
The greatest hits, you mean?
Yeah, I think they called it the hits when it
Okay.
came out. Because there was like the hits and the B-sides. And
Let
I
me
have
ask
that
you, Tim,
compilation.
does that record have cream on it?
People can't see, but you are laughing so hard off mic.
Well, I'm trying very hard not to laugh, Tim. It's a serious question. Does that record have cream on it?
All right, I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, you better wipe it off. See, it's a joke. It's like a prank phone call
All right.
type joke.
If you like, the
You have to
show-
call a record. You have to call a record store and ask them if they have Prince's greatest hits, and you ask them if it has cream on it.
If you like the show, despite this episode, you can get more information at tcgte.com.
Support your local record store by calling them up and asking them if they've got cream. Anyway, I'm sorry. You were saying, Tim?
You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow us on Instagram at TCGTE.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow me on both of those things at Your Pal Tim.
And you can follow me at Tom Reynolds.
If you want to support the show, there are 2 ways you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
The fun way, Patreon.
Well, they're both a lot of fun.
Well, there's the easy way and the fun way.
Okay.
And they're both pretty easy and pretty fun, but one's more easy than fun, one's more fun than easy.
Right.
The fun, And a kind of easy way is to support us on Patreon, tcgte.com/pledge. You get a free mini episode, like a 10 or 15-minute Amazing Facts episode every week.
And access to the back archives, which there's a ton of now
Yeah.
for Amazing Facts.
Yeah, there's 76 of them now.
Yeah.
Like the number of trombones in The Music Man.
Like the number of Ers in Philadelphia.
Yeah. And also, right now, where people have been, I'm waving. There's a camera set up in here, Tom. People are watching us record this.
Yeah.
It's a real thrill. We're both bottomless.
Yep.
The wings, the drinks here.
Yeah, the drinks are bottomless.
Yeah.
Right.
And you get other things there. I don't know. Go look at that. tcgte.com/pledge.
Yes.
If you want, here's the easy way, and also a lot of fun if you like shopping.
Well, what if you're shopping for a coffin?
Well, it's not for yours, so.
No, what if you're shopping for your own coffin because you've just been diagnosed with a terminal illness?
All right.
Hey, Tim, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, but then it's still kind of fun because you're like, well, let me see what fun
At least
things
I get some
can-
say.
Yeah. tcgte.com/Amazon brings you to the Amazon that you know and love. We get a little bit of a kickback at no cost to you. It's a great way to support the show, and I know a lot of you do that, so thank you very much. Reddit. Go talk.
Reddit.com/r/tcgte.
Yeah, do you think I do this too? That's a subreddit. Kat does a lot of stuff in there, Kat from Edinburgh, and it's really great. And I like reading when people talk about me, so it's nice.
But you have a man, collate everything together for you and give you like a digest.
Yeah, how else would one do that?
Yeah. Well, some people don't use Reddit that way.
Yeah. I don't understand.
They have a
how.
computer themselves and they go on there.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, la-di-da.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a computer, you say?
Yeah. Well, a lot of rich scientists, that's what they do.
Tom?
Mhm.
Any famous last words?
Are you going to do me in?
Look, just in case.
Any famous last words before I strangle you to death?
Here's what got me. This is what the Prince thing got me thinking about today.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with David Bowie, too.
Yeah.
Like, especially these people that you admire. Like, there's a thing where it's like, oh, you never know who's going to
Right.
tell people what they mean to you. What I would say is, like, your heroes while they're alive. Like, even if they're not doing your favorite stuff, keep out, like, be grateful for them. And, like, you know what? Prince probably wasn't putting on the best shows of his career. Like, you probably wish you could have gone and seen him in 1987.
Right.
But, like, don't you wish you went and saw Prince? Like, I had never seen Prince.
Me neither.
And, like,
never will now.
Yeah, these the legends.
Yeah, go see him.
Go see them.
You never know.
Appreciate them while they're there, even if like Neil Young. I thought I was done with Neil Young shows.
But
I'm always
gonna
wish that
in.
I had seen one more Neil Young show.
Yeah.
Weird Al.
Don't get me started.
Tom, I'm gonna make this confession to you.
Yes.
Well, this is a weird thing.
Okay.
And this is garbage time on the podcast, right?
Yeah, everybody's thrown out their phones by now.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah.
I emailed a few of our friends.
Okay.
I CC'd myself on the email.
Right.
I emailed a few of our friends and I said, Weird Al is playing at Radio City Music Hall. Does anybody want to get VIP tickets?
Right.
Or do you want to get regular tickets if that's too rich
But
for
you
your
made a hard sell for like, guys, let's
and
really do this.
There were a few people on that email, right?
Yeah.
You did not respond.
No. But I did not respond because I had already bought tickets.
Oh, you had already bought
Yeah.
tickets? No, the way you told me is that you saw that, you panicked and bought 2 tickets, 2 regular tickets, which is like, I had 5 people on that email, Tom. Didn't you want to go with all 5 of your friends?
I forget who else was on the email.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
No, I don't think I heard it from you. I did panic though, and just
Yeah.
like bought 2 tickets as soon as I found out.
Well, I didn't buy
It was-
tickets.
it was
and now
before
neither
that
of us
email.
can go because we're going to be in London.
No.
Sucker.
I'm legitimately. You have no idea how many Weird Al shows I've missed.
I've never seen Weird Al.
Me neither. And I've met like every time there's been like extenuating circumstances, and he doesn't tour a whole lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe we need to travel and go see Weird Al somewhere.
I'd do that.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Shake on it.
Shake on it.
We're only pretending to shake hands.
Yeah,
We
the
don't
people
actually
watching the
touch
live
hands.
video, they can see. They know we
Gross.
don't touch.
All right, guys. Thanks for sitting through all this.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Prince.